One thing I think is really important in this space is about trusting your partner to parent your child. And it might be different than you.
So I have my wife Liz with us to talk about parenting differences.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a lot of parenting differences. I am much more of a rule follower, like literally like the printout from the pediatrician, just like do those things. And I think you are more intuitive with your parenting. You do what sort of like feels right to you or what seems right for the kids. And I think it's more relaxed. It's less like worried about the rules, or you don't even know the rules sometimes, right? Like you kind of like, I'm the person who brings that into the space.
I just see this as kind of like this fundamental place that we're on opposite sides. And a lot of our, ways that we see what to do with our kids sort of stem from this, right? Like I think like watching TV is a good example of this,
They say you can watch up to 2 hours, so I try to do less.
Right. And you cut our kids off like right in the middle, right? They may be 3 minutes into a show and you're like, I'm going to cut them off right in the middle, right? Where I let them watch, till the end. Because I'm just like, I'm just going to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's just important to understand like what's at stake for each of us. Like this is the lens which you view life, right? Like if I understand you correctly, after 11 years of being together, or into your 12, no, 11 years of being together, like that this is so important to you, right? Like doing the right thing, getting the good grade, like following the rules is the way that you feel safe.
Yes. I think for you, what it feels like is you really like maintain the emotional well-being of our children, and you're less concerned about like if they eat the right amount of vegetables or watch too much TV. Like you can sort of sense how they are emotionally and know whether they're okay or not.
Yeah, I love how you said that, because that really like illustrates, I think, the way to approach this, which is seeing the way in which we create a balanced system and how we are, right? Like at the beginning of our relationship, I hated that you were such a rule follower, and you hit, like remember our packing our bags argument, how I would never pack my suitcase, and you're like, what the hell? Why would you pack your suitcase?
Yeah.
And then I started to learn this is actually stressful for me. The thing that I related to is less stressful is actually more stressful. And like, I think it's really like, I love how you acknowledge that in me, like the good side of being more of a go with the flow person and more about kind of being attuned.
Well, one thing I think is really important in this space is about trusting your partner to parent your child. And it might be different than you. Like I see mostly women fall into this thing where they like want to control everything that their partner is doing, which is just causing more stress for the woman. Like they can't leave because they're the only person that can put the kid to bed, or they don't feel like they can get away because they have to like draw an extensive list for their partner for how to care for the child. When the truth is like, you have to trust your partner to care for your child.
Yeah.
And that is part of a healthy relationship with the kid. Like, so if I leave, maybe they're going to get more show, or maybe they're going to eat pretzels the whole time. Right. But like, they're going to be alive when I come home, and they're going to be happy because they're going to have played way more. You play way more with them. They're going to be exercised. Maybe they got to stay up a little later. It's like, there are benefits and to both of the ways that we parent. That's why there's two parents. And then you have to get away, For me, it's really important for me to have those stress-free times when I'm away from my kids and know in the back of my mind, they're fine. Yeah. They're fine.
Yeah. Well, I love what you said, because it's like, I think of this in my thinking in the course of like, we're a system, right? Like you and I are a system of parenting, and you have strengths and your strengths also have weaknesses, and I have strengths and my strengths also have weaknesses, and your rule followingness, is awesome and also difficult. And my easy spontaneousness is awesome and also difficult. And I think a good rule of thumb is this doing like some truly irreparable imprint on our child, right? Like I think about this with in-laws too. Like most of our reactions to things are actually, like, this is kind of the point of the module, right? Like, most of our reactions to things are so self-referential, right? Like, it's wrong because it's too rule followy, or it's wrong because it's too spontaneous. And it's like, is that really going to be doing irreparable damage, or can I let my partner actually have their influence on our child?
Yeah, totally.
You know, I think we both have this really strong sense of trust in each other, and that we're each contributing something to our kids that's meaningful, even though our proclivities are quite opposite from each other.
I also think kids get used to a certain rhythm. So like the example of the mom who was the only person who can put their kid to bed, then suddenly that kid doesn't want dad.
Yeah.
Right? Because all they know is mom. When really it's really important to have both parents be doing that nighttime ritual so you get the different experience.